Good morning. It's me and Penny. It's March 1st. Welcome to the Codex Club. I'm Andrea, and I make family videos and this daily devotional playlist. I'm trying to do this for a year where I talk through Streams in the Desert by Mrs. Charles Cowman. And I'm also doing my personal journal that hopefully gives context to what I'm reading in just like a really simple, clear way. If you're interested in this kind of thing, or you like Bible studies, women's uh, motivation, devotionals, etc. Please subscribe. I leave a link to the playlist in the description, as well as a copy of the book and the journal I use, which is just like the Happy Life Planner on Amazon. And Penny really likes the stickers. Would you recommend it? Okay, don't eat it. Yeah, cutie. So today we're going to be reading. Ooh. Okay, honey. Hold on one second. Today we're going to start right off with the book, and then I will go through my reflection. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? Ecclesiastes 7:13. Often God seems to place his children in positions of profound difficulty, leading them into a wedge from which there is no escape, contriving a situation which no human judgment would have permitted had it been previously consulted. The very cloud conducts them thither. You may be thus involved at this very hour. It does seem perplexing and very serious to that degree, but it is perfectly right. The issue will more than justify him who has brought you hither. It is a platform for the display of his almighty grace and power. He will not only deliver you, but in doing so, he will give you a lesson that you will never forget, and to which, in many a psalm and song, in after days, you will revert. You will never be able to thank God enough for having done just as he has. We may wait till he explains, because we know that Jesus reigns. It puzzles me, but Lord, thou understandest, and wilt one day explain this crooked thing. Meanwhile, I know that it has worked out thy best, and its very crookedness taught me to cling. Thou hast fenced my ways, made my paths crooked, to keep my wandering eyes fixed on thee, to make me what I was not, humble, patient, to draw my heart from earthly love to thee. And so I will thank and praise thee for this puzzle, and trust where I cannot understand, rejoicing thou dost hold me worth such testing. I cling the closer to thy guiding hand. And the attribution is FEMI. So, what can we learn from this? One thing that I took away from it is, there have been times in my life that were really, really tough, right? And I often think why? What is the purpose of all this, right? And I think that that's like a pretty common Christian criticism. How could an all-powerful, all-knowing God allow those who love him to hurt? And, part of it is free will. We let presumably original sin into the world. But I think that even non-Christians can agree that when there is suffering, what is the reason? It's there's a quote I really like from the author of Wild, who said these really monotonous, really tough days, those are your becoming, and it does unfortunately build character. Those who have had it too easy often find themselves purposeless. They don't have that larger meaning. I have two other attributions that are not as lofty as one you'd find in Streams in the Desert, but Miley Cyrus's The Climb is a really simple example of a message where it is all about trying to accomplish some larger purpose in life. We all do find gratification from that. And the other, it's kind of silly. I can't remember the second one now. I just woke up. But I think it was, Kim Kardashian in some interview had said like uh, that she grew up with a lot of like these rich, California kids who had always had it really easy, and a lot of them, she said, most of them had turned to drugs or to um, kind of self-destructive paths because they just didn't have ambitions. They didn't have to try in life. And so I guess it was her way of sort of explaining why, despite her advantages clearly in life, having um, been born into a more affluent family and being able to have money to start different ventures, like her argument was like, well, but it is hard for anybody, no matter what you think about like getting, I don't know, that silver spoon or whatever. Like in her mind, that's its own curse too. And so I don't know. I think that like for me personally, um, there have been moments where I really just hated what I was going through. I really couldn't understand the lesson there. Um, there's another silly quote by Taylor Swift where she was criticized for constantly being in relationships and writing about them, right? Like there's so many songs that were about her dating life or who she was with. And one thing that she said was, I know that my experiences, like I go into them hoping they'll be forever, but if they're not, they're lessons. And I want to share those lessons with people. That's my purpose in life, right? And I think that that's pretty clear. Like if she's writing these songs and she's able to like make a career out of sharing those experiences, maybe everything she's going through is helpful in that way, because a lot of people do identify with those songs. And I think having kids is a really great example too of like some of the most painful things that you're ever going to go through in life are childbirth, the sleep deprivation, um, and just some of the misunderstandings that are going to happen when your child is able to talk and have a power struggle with you and want to exert their own will and their own voice. And you love them so much, and you have to figure out, like, well, what is the right way to love you right now? Yesterday I talked about short term um, help or having it become a long term problem. And right now we've been struggling with this cold. And so it's kind of like, well, I think what I really applied it to yesterday was like, do I short term wipe your nose, even though it might annoy you or frustrate you? Or do I wait for it to be a real, like a big problem um, later on, And at the end of the day, our Heavenly Father knows best. He knows what truly is going to benefit us. And even if it seems annoying and frustrating in the short term, uh, we are His children. We can't see the big picture sometimes. And I think that, like, it's been a really great reminder in this devotional that, uh, I am a kid still. And I think that becoming a mom, becoming a wife, like those were responsibilities that I took really seriously. And I thought, okay, I got to be like, you get this pressure to, okay, like I'm responsible for these kids. I'm responsible for my marriage. It's not just about me anymore, right? But how freeing is it to think like, no, like there's still someone else out there who knows better and who you have to trust and obey sometimes. Like that's really, really cool to me. And I think I might keep it short and sweet tonight or today, this morning, because I think Penny's getting restless and I just want to love on her a little bit more right now. I think she was a little bit more independent yesterday, but maybe feeling like she needs some extra snuggles today. So I'm gonna log off, but I really do hope that doing these daily meditations is helpful for you watching. I know it really has been helping me set my goals for the day and just like take a moment. Um, and so if you want to consider subscribing subscribing, liking this playlist and this channel. I'd really appreciate it. If you have been, I'm really glad that we have this reason to reconnect and to, be doing this new topic together. I feel like a lot of people discovered this channel because of my pregnancies, and or because they watched me in boyhood back in the day, whether you saw my business, the Codex Club, or my acting work, or, whatever the reason you're here, I'm so grateful and I'm so happy. And I hope that we can continue to find new ways to update this platform. And yeah, I'm really grateful. All right, can you say thank you, Penny? Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.